Hey guys, imagine this. You're 19, seasick, knees shaking, wearing 80 pounds of gear and someone else's socks. The ocean is cold, the boat is louder than your heartbeat, and in 60 seconds the ramp is going to drop. You don't know where the bullets are coming from. You just know they're waiting. This isn't a game. This is Normandy, June 6th, 1944. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, give it a like and subscribe, it helps us keep making them. Now close your eyes. You're not in your bed anymore. You're on a boat, and it's starting to move forward. You can't see the beach yet, just fog, and the pale outline of the guy in front of you. Someone vomits, someone prays. You just try not to think. Your knees ache. Your fingers are numb. The metal under your boots vibrates like it knows what's coming. The engine groans. The ocean slaps back. Every second stretches. Every sound matters. You grip your rifle tighter like it might save you. It won't. You don't know what waits on the shore, only that it's waiting for you. The ship rocks again, a slow, bone-rattling roll that sends a few helmets clanking against the steel wall. No one flinches. You're long past flinching. The air below deck is thick with damp wool, tension, and barely contained vomit. A guy in the corner finally loses the battle and retches into his helmet liner. No one laughs. The novelty of misery wore off hours ago. You're packed shoulder to shoulder with men who haven't slept, shaved, or spoken above a whisper in what feels like forever. Some pray, some fidget. One guy's muttering baseball stats under his breath like it's a shield against chaos. And you're clutching your rifle like it's a lifeline, even though deep down you're pretty sure it's a death sentence with a shoulder strap. There's a metallic screech above deck chains being pulled, gear being moved. Someone yells a command in a voice that sounds way too calm. Probably an officer. The calm ones are always the ones who don't have to hit the beach first. You shift your weight, trying to relieve the pressure on your legs. No use. Your boots are soaked. Your socks are damp. Your feet feel like you're already halfway buried in wet sand. You're wearing nearly 80 pounds of equipment. Ammo, grenades, canteen, entrenching tool, gas mask, chocolate bar, first aid kit, knife, extra socks, none of which will help if you step into a minefield or catch a machine gun burst to the chest. But hey, at least you've got chocolate. Across from you, a kid from Ohio, probably 17, maybe younger, is trying not to cry. His helmet's too big. His hands won't stop shaking. You want to tell him it's going to be okay, but that would make you a liar. So you nod instead. He nods back. That's enough. The chaplain walks past with a quiet smile and a handful of medals. You boys remember your prayers, he says, like this is just another Sunday morning. Someone mutters, we're past prayers. Someone else replies, never too late to hedge your bets. Above deck, the artillery starts. Deep, thunderous booms that shake your ribs. That's the big stuff the naval guns trying to soften up the beach. You tell yourself that's comforting. It isn't. You know what's waiting anyway. Bunkers, machine guns, mines, barbed wire. Concrete teeth dug into the cliffs, manned by men who've had years to prepare, and one simple order: kill anything that moves. The engine coughs. The boat turns. You feel it, the slight shift in gravity, the way everyone tenses. You're getting close now. Close enough that nobody's pretending anymore. A flare pops in the sky, green, ghostly, then gone. In the flicker you see them. Hundreds of ships. Thousands of men. A floating city made of steel, all crawling toward the same strip of death. You wonder if the Germans can hear it. This mechanical growl, this doom slowly approaching. 10 minutes, someone shouts. No one responds. You check your weapon for the third time, still loaded, still ready. Still probably useless once the chaos starts. The guy next to you, Harris, Chicago, talks too much, leans in. You ever swim? You nod, even though you haven't in years. Good, he says. You might need to. The craft slows. The metal beneath your feet vibrates, then hums, then stills. The water is rougher now. You can hear the slosh, feel the salt spray on your cheeks, taste it in the back of your throat. It's not refreshing. It's a warning. The ramp is still up, but already you can feel what's behind it. Fear, fire. The kind of noise that breaks bones before bullets even land. Someone whispers, "Here we go." Someone else whispers back, "Shut up." You think about home, a porch swing, a dog, a girl who might still be waiting or might not. You imagine a world where this isn't happening, where you're not about to run straight into the worst morning of your life. But that world isn't here. Here, there are no speeches, no music, no slow-motion heroics. Just cold water, cold steel, and a warm, sick feeling in your gut that no training ever prepared you for. You hear machine gun fire now. Sharp, rapid, far away, but not far enough. It's real. You knew this was coming. You read the briefing, saw the maps, heard the statistics. But it still doesn't feel real. Until the ramp moves. A loud clank. A groan of rusted metal. A creak that cuts through your spine like a blade. No one breathes. This is it. Everything you were before this moment, son, student, dreamer, joker, evaporates. Now you're just a shape, a shadow in a uniform, a moving target. You adjust your grip. Your palms are slippery. Your knees are locked. Your heartbeat is louder than the gunfire. And just before the ramp drops fully, you think, "I'm not ready." Too bad. The ocean is waiting. And the ramp drops. Not slowly, not dramatically, just slams open. And in that instant, the quiet dies. You hear it all at once. The surf, the engines, the gunfire, screams, explosions, whistles slicing the air. The ocean churns and roars beneath you, slapping against steel like it's trying to throw the boat back out to sea. But there's no going back. Sunlight stabs into the boat's interior. You squint. Then someone shouts, "Go!" And suddenly people are moving. Not running, not charging, just moving. In jerks and stumbles. Some trip on the ramp. Some jump into the water too early. Some don't make it at all. Because the first few rows, they're already gone, cut down instantly. Bullets rake across the opening like angry needles. You flinch too late and feel spray hit your cheek. It's not water. You move, or try to. Your legs barely respond. The gear's too heavy. Your brain is screaming, "Go, go, go," but your body is still deciding whether to comply. The guy in front of you drops before he even hits the water. No sound, just a puff of red mist and a twitch. Your boots hit the ramp. Then the ocean. It's colder than you expected. And deeper. You go under instantly. You don't swim, you sink. The weight on your back pulls you straight down. Your helmet fills with water. Your rifle's useless now, a very expensive anchor. You flail. Your foot hits something, a body, the sandy bottom. You don't know, you just kick. Hard. You break the surface with a gasp that tastes like salt and panic. You're not dead. Yet. But it's close. Around you, chaos floats. Men screaming, men drowning, helmets bobbing like dead turtles. Some are trying to paddle, some are clawing at each other. One guy's stuck in his webbing, going under. No one helps. No one can. The surf slaps you again. Salt stings your eyes. You try to move forward, but the tide pulls back like it wants to drag you off the guest list. And then, bullets in the water. They hiss and pop as they hit the surface. You don't see them, but you feel them, zipping past, punching into waves, missing you by inches or not. You're not sure if that burning in your leg is a cramp or something worse. You try to ditch your pack. The strap's caught. You yank. It won't budge. You scream, but it's just bubbles. You manage to wriggle free, barely keeping your head above water. One boot's full of seawater, the other's missing entirely. Doesn't matter. You crawl, swim, drag yourself forward, one useless stroke at a time. You reach a sandbar or maybe a shallow spot. Your knees scrape bottom. You crawl, every movement is pain. You hear yelling behind you. You don't turn around, you don't want to know. Someone grabs your shoulder. It's Harris, still alive, eyes wide, face pale. He points ahead. There's no cover, just beach, open, exposed, perfect for dying. You move anyway. The tide is red now. You feel it around your legs, warm patches of blood mixing with the cold. Some of it's yours, most of it isn't. You don't look down. You hit the surf line. Sand at last, but it's not relief. It's quicksand. Your boots sink, your rifle jams, your lungs burn. You try to stand and immediately get knocked back down by an explosion 20 feet away. Sand hits you like shrapnel. One piece tears open your cheek. You don't feel it. Not yet. You crawl. The beach smells like gunpowder, diesel and death, like someone set fire to a meat truck and dumped it in the ocean. Every few feet there's another body. Some whole, some missing pieces, helmets filled with water, rifles snapped like twigs. You pass a guy screaming for his mum, you pass another who's not screaming anymore. This isn't war. This is demolition. You're not fighting, you're surviving the world's worst baptism. You finally reach a steel tank trap, jagged metal welded into an X. You duck behind it. Won't stop a bullet, but it's better than lying flat. Around you, other survivors are doing the same. Drenched, shaking, bleeding. No one's talking. Just breathing. Just waiting for the next move, the next order, the next explosion. And then you hear it. Click, click, click. A sound that doesn't belong to your side. You peek out. There it is. A German MG-42 mounted on a bunker above the ridge. It's chewing through men like paper dolls, fast, precise, merciless. You duck back, count to 3. Realise you don't know what comes after 3. You're shaking. Everything is noise and sand and blood and fear. You want to run, but your legs are locked. You want to hide, but there's nowhere left. And that's when you realise it. The ocean didn't try to kill you out of spite. It tried to warn you. The ocean knew. It knew what was waiting on this shore. The boats are still coming. More men, more targets. Some jump early, some sink, some never even make it out. You're still breathing. That's your only accomplishment so far. But breathing isn't surviving. Not here. Here, survival is luck dressed as instinct, and you're running out of both. You look at Harris. He's reloading, hands slick with seawater and something darker. You nod. He nods. That's the plan. Survive the next 60 seconds. A whistle blows somewhere behind you. An order. Maybe. Time to move. You push yourself up. The sand grips your boots like it doesn't want to let go. The surf behind you pulls like a jealous lover. You take one step. Bullets snap overhead. One hits the tank trap. Sparks fly. You duck. Too late. The guy next to you drops like a rag doll. You're still moving. Forward. Toward the dunes, toward the cliffs, toward the sound of everything exploding all at once. You keep going. Because stopping, that's not an option anymore. And as you scramble through the sucking sand and the ringing in your ears, one thought circles in your brain like a vulture. This was just the landing. The real hell hasn't even started yet. 3. Ramp drops. Reality shreds. You're not running. You're crawling. Dragging your soaked body across a beach that feels more like a meat grinder than a landing zone. Every inch forward is paid in blood, yours or someone else's. Behind you, the surf still vomits out new soldiers. Some make it 10 feet. Some don't make it at all. The boats keep coming, like clockwork, like sacrifice. And above it all the bunkers, concrete monsters carved into the cliffs, spewing lead like it's going out of style. MG-42 airs that sound less like machine guns and more like typewriters from hell. Each burst is another paragraph in the obituary of your unit. You can't see the enemy, but you feel them. You feel them in every bullet that whizzes past your helmet, in every scream that cuts short, in the heat pressing into your face from the sand that's been baked by explosions and soaked in blood. Your mouth tastes like copper. You're not sure if it's from fear, a busted lip, or someone else's wound. Doesn't matter. You're alive. Somehow. And that's a problem, because now you have to keep going. The next piece of cover is 30 meters away, a low ridge of sandbags and scrap. You calculate your chances. They aren't good. But you go anyway. You push up, run bent over like you're sprinting through hail, which you are. Except this hail shreds limbs. You don't look at the bodies. You can't. One glance and your knees will lock. 1 second too long and you'll forget that this isn't a dream. It's worse. It's organised chaos with paperwork. Halfway there, the air splits, a shell lands behind you. The shockwave picks you up like a rag doll and throws you into the sand. You don't scream. You can't. You just lie there, ears ringing, chest heaving, mouth full of grit. Someone grabs you and yanks you forward. You don't know who, doesn't matter. You're behind the sandbags now. For a second you believe in miracles. Until the guy who saved you stands up and gets cut down before he can say a word. No miracle, just timing. You duck, stay low. Breathe like it hurts because it does. Your ribs are bruised, your shoulders numb, your brain is doing jumping jacks in your skull. You look around. This isn't a squad. It's not even a unit. It's just pieces of people, strangers with guns and shell shock, taking cover behind dirt and hope. A sergeant not yours. Just some guy crawls over. We're pinned. We need to move left, flank the pillbox. You nod like you understand. He points to a line of hedgehog tank traps ahead. You make it there, you live. You stay here, you die. Got it. Simple math. 1 equals maybe. 0 equals definitely. You reload your rifle with shaking hands, fingers slippery with blood and seawater. You can't tell whose. You wait for the signal. The sergeant counts down with his fingers. 3, 2, 1. You move. The first 5 meters are pure adrenaline. You don't think. You just run. Then your foot catches on barbed wire. You stumble, slam into the sand. Your knee screams. Your hands bleed. You keep going anyway. Someone behind you steps on a mine. You don't turn around. You don't have to. You hear the pop, then the wet crunch, then nothing. Welcome to the orchestra pit of D-Day. Every instrument is death. Every note is final. You reach the traps and dive behind one. It's steel, sharp, cold. You press your face against it anyway because it's real and it's not shooting at you. You peek out. The machine gun nest is visible now. Black muzzle flashing, smoke curling from the barrel. You can see the gunners' helmets, uniforms, the confident rhythm of men who know they have the high ground. You lift your rifle, aim. Your hands are trembling, the sights bounce. You squeeze the trigger. Nothing. It jams. You curse. Loud. The kind of curse that's half cry, half sob. You bang the side of the weapon. It clears. You aim again. Fire. 1 shot. Maybe 2. You're not sure if you hit anything. Doesn't matter. You bought yourself 5 more seconds of life. To your left, Harris is back, face smeared with dirt, blood on his sleeve. He's pointing, shouting something you can't hear. Then he throws a grenade. You watch it arc, slow motion, over the beach into the nest. It disappears. Boom. You see bodies fly. The gun goes silent. It's not over, but it's quiet. Quiet enough to think. And that's dangerous. Because now your brain reminds you it's only been 30 minutes. 30. Feels like years. You're not at the cliff yet. You're not at the top. You're not even at the halfway point. You're a soggy, terrified, half-broken mess, and you still have to cross another 200 meters of sand, wire, mines and crossfire. And then you get to fight through hedgerows, through fields, through towns rigged with explosives and snipers and worse. But you don't think about that now. You think about this moment, this patch of sand, this one breath you're still allowed to take. You press your face into the dirt and whisper something. Not a prayer, not exactly, just gratitude. You're still here. Then the silence breaks again. Mortars. Close. One lands to your right. Sand showers your helmet. Another whistle. A new order. A new direction. You grip your rifle tighter and push yourself up, every joint howling in protest. Because this isn't the end of your D-Day story. It's barely page 2. 4. Bullets, bodies, and bad choices. You're up again. Not because you want to be, but because the sergeant's voice just cut through the chaos with a tone that doesn't allow options. Move now, or die here. That's the kind of motivation that bypasses hesitation. Your legs protest, your spine screams, your helmet's askew, your rifle's clogged with sand, and your ankle might be sprained. But you move, because death is impatient, and bullets don't wait for better footing. You dart left, trying to follow a makeshift path through the gaps in barbed wire. Harris is somewhere ahead or maybe behind. You're not sure. Your world is a tunnel now, narrow, loud, focused only on the 6 feet in front of you. And that's when you make your first mistake. You stop. Just for a second, just to catch your breath. That's all it takes. A bullet snaps past your ear so close you feel the air tear. You drop like a sack of meat, face first into the sand. Your nose fills with grit, your eyes water. You don't care. You just learned the rule. Stopping gets you killed. You crawl again. Ahead, a man is waving his arm wounded, maybe calling for help. You hesitate. 1 more second. 2. And then you see it. The sniper trap. His lower half is gone, deliberately placed, designed to draw medics and heroes into the open. You're neither. Keep moving. It's not cold-blooded. It's cold logic. D-Day doesn't care about good intentions, only outcomes, and if you stop to help, your outcome is a bullet through the chest. You press forward toward a burned-out half-track, now serving as the only solid cover in 50 meters. You make it there on pure momentum and just in time. The machine gun opens up again, chewing into the sand where your shadow used to be. You crouch behind the metal carcass. It smells like oil and cooked flesh. You don't ask which came first. Next to you, a corporal is loading a bazooka. His hands shake like he's having a seizure. He drops the shell. You grab it, hand it back without speaking. He nods once. That's all the thanks you get, or need. He fires. The rocket hisses, arcs, and hits the bunker. The explosion is deafening. Stone cracks, dust flies. A cheer rises from nearby troops, short-lived but real. You peek over the wreckage. The gun is silent. The bunker smoulders. For a second you taste victory. Then the second nest lights up. Different angle, different direction, same result. Bullets rip through the cheering squad. The corporal next to you jerks once, then twice, then falls like someone unplugged him. No glory, no music, just gone. You duck again, mind racing. What now? You consider standing up and making a run for it. Then remember what happened last time you stood up. So, you stay low and crawl left. Following a shallow depression in the sand might have been a bomb crater, might be a grave. Either way, it's cover. As you move, you notice things. Small things, stupid things. A boot with no foot in it. A helmet with a playing card tucked into the strap, the Queen of Hearts. A rifle sticking out of the sand upright, like someone planted it there as a joke. It's not funny. You reach a ditch filled with water and jump in. It's not deep, but it's enough to soak you again. You feel something soft brush your leg. You don't check what it is. Instead, you wait. Heart hammering, ears ringing, mind screaming. And that's when you realize something else. You have no idea where your unit is. No idea where you are. No idea what the objective even is anymore. Your world has shrunk to a single priority. don't die. Another explosion, this one close. Dirt rains down on you like ash. Your mouth fills with grit again. You spit. Laugh. Bitterly. You're chewing France. A voice behind you. They're flanking left. Move. You scramble out of the ditch and follow the voice. Doesn't matter who's through a minefield of bodies and twisted metal. One wrong step and you join the scenery. You duck behind a crate ammo maybe, or rations, doesn't matter. You're not eating today. Next to you, a kid fresh, barely old enough to shave, is sobbing, loudly. He's holding a photo of someone, a girl probably, blonde, smiling. You grab his arm. Breathe. He doesn't. You slap him, not hard, just enough to snap him back. His eyes widen. He nods, then tucks the photo away and grips his rifle like it's the only thing he has left, which, in fairness, it is. You both move. You reach a trench shallow, muddy, barely a trench at all, and slide in. It stinks of cordite and rot, but at least it's not open ground. Two other guys are already there. One has a radio, the other's reloading a bar. They glance at you, nod. No names, no greetings. Just, you're alive. We're alive, let's keep it that way. Overhead, planes roar past friendly, you think. Maybe. Bombs fall on the ridge. The ground shakes. Clods of earth leap skyward. You duck instinctively. The radio man shouts into his headset. No response. Comms are dead, he mutters. Again. You ask, what's the plan? He shrugs. Survive? Fair. You peek over the edge. Another stretch of sand, another kill zone, another set of decisions. Run left. Run straight. Wait. Fire. All of it feels like a coin toss. Because here's the ugly truth. There are no good choices. Only ones that might not kill you right away. So you pick one. You move. You gamble. And as the bullets start flying again, you realise this isn't just a battle. It's a game of roulette, and your number is still spinning. 5. The sounds of war and why they break you. You hear it before you feel it. The deep, hollow thump of an artillery shell landing somewhere close too close. The ground doesn't shake right away. It tenses like it's bracing for impact. Then it hits. The trench jolts. Your ears ring. Dirt and pebbles rain down from above. Someone yells. Someone else groans. You duck, hands over your helmet like that'll stop a 75mm shell. It doesn't, and that's when it starts. The noise. You thought you understood loud. You were wrong. This isn't just loud, it's total. A full-body assault made of sound. Every burst, every boom, every scream, it wedges itself into your bones and stays there. That machine gun fire isn't just background noise anymore. It's language. It's rhythm. The MG42 spits bullets at 1,200 rounds per minute. A mechanical blur so fast it doesn't sound like individual shots. It sounds like God ripping paper. There's no bass, no melody, just sharp, violent percussion. And then mortars they whistle before they land. A rising, falling screech that gives you just enough time to panic and not enough to run. You learn to judge distance by sound. A short whistle means impact nearby. A longer one means impact on someone else. You never feel good about that. Grenades don't sound like the movies either. No crisp bang, just a dull thwump, followed by silence, the kind where you're waiting to find out who's not answering anymore. And rifle fire, it's everywhere, behind you, ahead, right next to your head. It cracks like someone slapping a frozen tree trunk with a crowbar. Sharp, sudden, endless. You try to breathe through it, focus, calm down. But your ears aren't yours anymore. They belong to the battlefield now. Even your heartbeat gets confused. It skips, speeds, freezes. You're not controlling your body anymore. You're just borrowing it while it panics. And then there's the worst sound. screaming. Not shouting, not orders, real screaming. High-pitched, guttural, human. The kind that doesn't stop when the shooting does. The kind that keeps going in your skull long after the mouth that made it is gone. You hear a man wailing for help in a voice that doesn't sound like a soldier. It sounds like a child. You want to help. You really do. But your legs won't move. And even if they did, what would you do? You're not a medic. You're not a hero. You're just a guy with a rifle and the sickening realization that some screams don't end with rescue. They just end. A shell lands nearby. You duck again. The air blasts past your ears, a high-pressure slap that leaves you deaf for 5 seconds, maybe 10. You check your body, all parts still attached. Your brain doesn't believe it. It's decided you're dead and just hasn't gotten confirmation yet. Around you, men are shouting, but their mouths don't match their voices. It's like a badly dubbed film in a language you used to speak but forgot under stress. You see lips moving. Move left, cover me, reloading. But all you hear is ringing, pounding, static fire. Someone grabs your arm. You flinch, spin, almost fire. It's Harris. He mouths something. You read his lips. You okay? You shake your head. Not because you're hurt, but because okay stopped being an option 2 explosions ago. He pats your shoulder. That's it. That's the therapy. You move on. You fire your rifle without thinking. 1 shot, another. You can't hear them. You only know they happened because your shoulder jerked and the recoil sent a tremor up your spine. Sound has become sensation, vibration. You feel the war now more than you hear it. Your helmet vibrates when shells hit the cliffs. Your teeth rattle with every burst of automatic fire. Your fingertips tingle from shock waves you didn't see coming. And in between, there's no silence. Not ever. Even the quiet is loud. The hum of your blood. The buzz in your ears. The soft squelch of boots in wet sand. Someone sobbing quietly behind a wall. Someone praying through clenched teeth. Someone humming a song so softly you can't tell if it's real or if your brain made it up to cope. You duck into a crater to reload. Inside it's slightly quieter, but only slightly. You hear your own breath, now shallow, fast, like a dog on a hot day. You inhale through your nose. Bad idea. Smells like rot and wet leather. There's a body at the bottom of the crater. You don't check who. Doesn't matter. You just reload and climb out, half hoping a bullet will come so you can stop thinking. But none does. You crawl forward toward the base of the cliff. The sounds change again, ricochets now, pinging off rocks, screaming past your ear like angry insects. You duck. Too late. One grazes your helmet. Sparks. Pain. Not deep, but enough to feel. You scream. Not out of fear, out of rage. Because you're sick of this. Sick of ducking, of crawling, of noise that never ends. You want to go deaf just for an hour. Maybe then you'll be able to think again. And still the war doesn't stop. Because for every gun you silence, another one screams louder. For every minute of quiet, there's an hour of thunder waiting. This isn't just a battlefield. It's a concert of agony, a symphony with no conductor, no sheet music, just endless percussion and the occasional solo from a dying man. And you're just part of the audience. Front row, no earplugs, no intermission. Eventually you stop reacting. Shells land, you flinch but don't scream. Gunfire erupts, you duck. Reload, return fire, duck again. Someone screams, you glance, assess, keep moving. Your brain isn't shutting down, it's adapting. It has decided. This is your life now. Noise. Death. Repeat. You reach the edge of the beach where the cliffs rise like giant fists above the chaos. Your body aches, your ears ring, your mind feels like it's been scraped raw with steel wool. You take cover behind a rock, and for the first time in what feels like hours, it's quiet. Not silent, never silent, but quiet enough to breathe. You close your eyes, and you know deep down that the quiet won't last. But for now, in this brief pause between explosions, you feel something strange. Not relief, not hope, just absence. The sound is gone. And that's almost worse. 6. The sand hates you. 2. You've reached the base of the cliffs. You're supposed to feel relieved. You're not being shot at right now. You're partially in cover, barely. You're still breathing somehow. But the moment your knees hit the sand, you realise something else. You're not done. You're just trapped in a new kind of hell. Because this beach hates you. It's not soft. It's not warm. It's not the kind of sand people walk barefoot through in postcards. This sand is coarse, deep, wet, and angry. It clings to your skin, your boots, your soul. It's in your eyes, your mouth, your gun. You try to crawl forward and sink. Every motion costs energy you don't have. The more you move, the more resistance you meet. Like the sand itself is conspiring to keep you here stuck, exposed and exhausted. You roll to your side and try to sit up. Bad move. Your pack shifts, your balance goes, you flop like a fish. The sand gets inside your collar, down your back, in your socks. You spit again. Still tastes like France. Harris crawls up next to you, wheezing, cursing, half buried. Jesus, he says. I thought the bullets were bad. You nod. You'd laugh, but you're too busy choking on grit. Around you, men are trying to regroup, trying to climb, trying to do anything but sink. One guy takes a step toward the dune and disappears up to his knee. He jerks it free with a pop, loses his boot in the process, keeps going, in socks, because there's no time to go back. You look at your own boots. They feel like they weigh 10 kilos each. Not from water, from sand. It's in every fold of your uniform. Your sleeves, your waistband, your weapon. You pull the charging handle, it grinds, you curse, spit again. Too late. You'll have to clean it later, if there is a later. You try to stand, your legs burn. Muscles shaking, knees wobbling. The slope is steep, just a dune really, but it might as well be Everest with a machine gun on top. You dig your toes in, push, and slide backward. The sand gives nothing, no grip, no support, just collapse. You try again. This time, you grab a chunk of exposed root, some shrub clinging to the cliffside. It tears away in your hand. You fall face first, nose full of dust. Helmet rolls off. You scramble after it like it's your last possession. You hear a whiz, a ping. A bullet hits a rock just above you. Showed yourself for a second. That's all it takes. You stay down. You think about just stopping, letting the sand have you, letting this godforsaken beach claim one more soggy corpse. But you don't. Because Harris grabs your arm and says, "Climb, damn it, before they pin us here." And you do. Not because you want to, not because you can, but because there's no other option. You crawl upward, inch by inch, hands clawing, knees dragging, boots slipping. Every 2 steps forward, 1 slide back. The sand shifts, collapses, reforms around your limbs like it's trying to consume you. You start thinking it's alive. Not metaphorically, literally. Like it wants revenge. For what? Who knows? For every boot print, every bullet, every dead body left behind. It's petty like that. A mortar hits the base of the cliff behind you. The shockwave pushes sand upward like a dirty tidal wave. You duck, press your face into the slope, feel 100 tiny cuts from the flying grains. Sand is soft, you are told. Not when it hits you at 300 kilometers per hour. It's a sand blaster now. And you're the target. You taste blood. can't tell if it's from your lip, your nose, or your throat. Could be all three. You wipe your face. Your glove leaves a trail of mud across your cheek. Harris reaches the top of the dune first. He waves you up, barely visible in the haze of dust and debris. You push, crawl, scramble. Your fingers dig into something bone. You jerk away, try a different grip. Rocks now, firmer, solid. Finally, you crest the top, collapse next to Harris, gasping. You made it. And then you look down. The beach below you is chaos. From up here, it looks fake, like a movie set. Tiny figures running, falling, firing. Boat still arriving. Smoke curling skyward like it's trying to escape. You lie there, heart pounding, sand in your ears. You want to rest. You want to cry. You want to never touch a beach again. But the sergeant appears. Where did he come from? No idea. Get your asses up, we're breaching the first line. You stare at him. Breaching what? You can barely stand. He points toward a tree line beyond the dunes, the start of inland. Real France. The next circle of hell. You nod, somehow. Then you roll over, spit one last time and whisper, "I hate this beach." And the beach whispers back, "Hate you too." 7. Friendly fire isn't friendly. There's a sound you don't expect to hear once you've made it past the beach. An airplane. You look up instinctive, hoping it's one of ours. Because the last thing you need is the Luftwaffe showing up to finish what the machine gun started. And it is one of ours. A P-47. Big, beautiful, mean. It screams overhead, and for a brief foolish second you feel safe. Like someone remembered you exist. Like someone's watching your six. And then it opens fire. On you. Not intentionally, of course. You're not important enough to target. You're just in the wrong place, wearing the wrong shape, moving the wrong direction in the smoke. The .50 caliber rounds tear through the tree line behind you, exploding in thick clumps of mud and bark. You hit the deck so fast your helmet bounces off your skull. Harris lands next to you, wide-eyed, shouting something that gets lost in the engine roar. Another pass, more fire. You flinch as the shells rip the dirt a metre to your left. They sound like God-coughing thunder. "They think we're Germans," someone yells. "Yeah, no kidding." You wave your arms, useless. The pilot is long gone, off to strafe another patch of maybe enemies down the line. Welcome to the next rule of war. Your own side can and will try to kill you. Not out of hatred, not even negligence. Just confusion. The battlefield doesn't come with GPS. The smoke doesn't politely label friend or foe. And from a few hundred meters in the air, you in your green uniform crawling through broken trees look exactly like the guys you're fighting. You stand up slowly, checking your gear, your limbs, your sanity. Still there, somehow. But the feeling of betrayal lingers. You weren't just dodging Germans. You were dodging your own salvation. The irony burns more than the powder residue on your neck. You regroup with a handful of scattered soldiers near a low wall, more rock than strategy. A lieutenant tries to call in position on a field radio. Tell them to stop firing on grid Charlie 3. The operator stares at him blankly. "We are Charlie 3, sir." Silence. Then the lieutenant turns and mutters, "Then we're already screwed." You press against the stone. Every time a plane passes overhead now you flinch. Doesn't matter what emblem it's flying, you don't trust wings anymore. And it's not just the planes. Artillery is even worse. Because the Navy, they mean well. They're trying. But when you're lobbing shells the size of refrigerators from miles offshore, precision is more of a suggestion than a guarantee. You hear the whine of incoming shells the wrong kind. Too high, too close, too late. One lands short, way short. It hits a cluster of men less than 100 meters away. Your men. The blast rattles your teeth. Dirt and screams fill the air. You duck again, because that's the only thing your body knows how to do anymore. When you peek up, the damage is clear. 3 bodies, one still moving, one missing half a leg, one not identifiable. The sergeant swears, spits, then shouts into the radio, friendly shell, ceasefire!" The reply crackles back after a delay. Copy, adjusting range. Adjusting range. Like this is a math problem. Like they just miscalculated your humanity by a decimal point. You sit back against the wall and stare at the ground. Not out of sadness, not even shock, just disbelief. You expect war to be brutal, but you expect it to be brutal in a logical way. The enemy shoots you. You shoot them. That's the deal, right? Except now you realise the deal doesn't exist. Out here, bullets don't ask questions. Shells don't discriminate. Airplanes don't double-check. You move to a barn, or what used to be a barn, with 3 other soldiers. You need to regroup, reload, breathe. You duck inside, dust and soot fill your lungs. Someone lights a cigarette. Stupid but necessary. The tiny glow feels like defiance. Then a mortar shell hits the roof. Probably German. But you'll never know. It collapses inward like a dying lung. Beams fall, smoke erupts. You crawl out coughing, your ears ringing all over again. One guy didn't make it. You don't catch his name. You're not sure you ever heard it. You keep moving. Later that afternoon, or maybe it's still morning, time is broken. You see medics carrying a wounded man back toward the beach. They're wearing red crosses on their helmets, big ones, bright. They walk openly, arms up, unarmed. The Geneva Convention says they're safe. The MG42 disagrees. It cuts them down mid-step. 3 men fall. One tries to crawl, doesn't get far. You want to scream, but you don't. Because if they're not safe, no one is. That's the final lesson of the day. Rules don't matter here. Not your rules, not their rules, not even international rules. Because the battlefield doesn't follow doctrine. It follows chaos. And chaos doesn't care who's on your team. 8. You're not a hero. You're a number. You've stopped expecting recognition. No applause, no salute, no voice whispering good job in your ear as you dodge yet another bullet. You're not doing this for glory anymore. You're doing it because the alternative is a ditch with your boots sticking out and no one to pull you back in. But somewhere, beneath the mud, the powder burns, the hunger and dehydration, you still believed one thing, that someone, somewhere, would notice if you were gone. That illusion dies quietly. It doesn't scream or explode. It's erased with a pencil. You're crouched behind a collapsed wall with 6 other men, none of them from your unit. Units don't exist anymore. Just survivors with the same destination, forward. A young lieutenant, clean collar, pressed jacket, fresh map approaches. You hate him already. Which one of you is Reynolds? No answer. He tries again. Able company? Silence. Then someone mutters, "They didn't make it." The lieutenant sighs, pulls out a pencil and draws a line through a name. No sadness, no comment, just able company crossed out. You watch him walk away, still looking for names in a world that's forgotten what names mean. And that's when it hits you. You're not a soldier. You're a number. You're 7 warm bodies at coordinate C4. Your reinforcements arriving late. You're still breathing. Nothing more, nothing less. No one cares who you are. Not really. You could disappear this minute and the mission wouldn't skip a beat. You'd be replaced, not mourned. Your name wouldn't echo in memory. It would vanish in paperwork. You wipe your face with a sleeve. Sand and sweat grind into your skin. A corporal appears out of nowhere. You 4 flank left through the orchard, take the barn. Always a barn? as if barns are what we came here to liberate. You follow orders because orders are simpler than questions. You push through thick brush. A root catches your foot. You stumble, swear under your breath. Harris smirks. Still graceful. You flash a middle finger, half grin, half grimace. That's what counts as humour now. The orchard smells like apples and cordite. The trees look like skeletons. A few have bullet holes in their trunks, clean entry, no exit. Like everything else here, they bleed slow. Suddenly, shouting. Then a crack, then silence. A man from your group drops like a sack of rocks. You don't stop. You don't kneel. You move. Stopping is for dead men. By the time you reach the barn, you're 2 men fewer. One you saw fall. The other just didn't arrive. Nobody asks where he went. It doesn't matter. You breach the barn. It's empty, or looks empty. Dust in the air. Hay in the corners. A broken pitchfork. A dead chicken. And a shoe. Just the shoe. Someone says, clear. Another says, not sure. You sit against a beam and check your canteen. Bone dry. Of course. Harris pulls out a scrap of biscuit. Offers you half. You take it. Bite. Swallow. Regret it instantly. Feels like chalk soaked in iron. Think they'll spell our names right on the memorial, he asks. You snort. If they remember to put 'em on at all. You check your dog tags, still there. 2 little plates of metal, name, serial number, blood type. Not much for a legacy. The sergeant arrives, chewing a toothpick like it's a cigar. You lot are bravo now. Anyone asks, say you've always been. You don't argue. What would be the point? Your identity is now a letter and a direction. You're not yourself. You're a placeholder. The mission continues. Outside, artillery starts again. You flinch, but only slightly. That reflex is dull now. It's no longer a spike of fear. It's a pulse, a reminder that you're still here for some reason. You're told to dig in. You borrow a shovel from a corpse. You don't look at his face. You don't need to. You start digging. Soil wet, rocks sharp. You curse every 10 seconds. It helps. Barely. A young soldier nearby, could be older than 16, is digging too. He hums a song you almost recognise. You don't tell him to stop. It's the closest thing to sanity you've heard all day. He finishes digging and immediately sits in it, legs out, rifle across his lap, staring into nothing. You wonder if he's alive on the inside. Or just waiting. You glance down at your own hands. Dirt in every crease. Blood under your nails. Blisters you didn't notice until they popped. This is who you are now. Not a name, not a story, just height, standard, weight, average, status, still functional. That's how the system sees you. Later, someone tries to take a head count. The numbers don't add up. They shrug and move on. Because whether it's 7 or 8 or 6 doesn't matter. As long as someone's firing in the right direction. You try to remember your mother's voice. You can't. Just the shape of it, the tone, something soft, something far from here. You rub your face. Wonder what you look like now. Probably like everyone else. Tired, dirty, half gone. You lie down in the foxhole. Not to sleep, you wouldn't risk that, just to feel smaller than the world again. Harris leans over. What do you think this looks like from the air? You say, numbers. He nods. Figures. Strength counts, casualty rates. You close your eyes, not to rest, just to escape. And you realise if someone wrote your story, it wouldn't start with your name. It would start with, an estimated 150,000 men stormed the beaches, and end with, at great cost. 9. If the bullets don't get you, the terrain will. The bullets have calmed down. For now. The distant rattle of gunfire fades into the background, like static on a broken radio. No direct threat, no barked orders, just the soft, wet squelch of your boots as you start climbing the next hill. You thought surviving the beach was hard. You thought the machine guns were cruel. But that was before you met your next enemy. The terrain. This hill, this innocent-looking lump of dirt and rocks wants to kill you. Slowly, silently, without glory. The slope isn't steep, but it's relentless. Every step forward is an argument. Your boots sink 0.5 centimetre into the mud, then another, then another. Every time you lift your leg, the earth tries to keep it. It's not mud, really. It's some kind of French quicksand, thick, sticky and personal. Your knees ache. Your thighs burn. Your gear digs into your back like it's trying to fuse with your spine. 80 pounds of war strapped to your shoulders, dragging you down inch by inch. You pause to adjust your strap. Bad idea. Stopping is permission. The wind shifts, and suddenly the scent of rot reaches you. Not fresh, deep. A week old, maybe more. Somewhere nearby something died and stayed. You don't investigate. You lean forward again. Push. Behind you, Harris mutters something that sounds like gravity's a Nazi. You don't laugh, but you agree. You slip. Not dramatically, not movie style. Just a foot going sideways, your body lurching, your shoulders slamming into a rock. The pain shoots through you, quick, sharp, cold. You swear. Check your rifle. Still intact. Your shoulder? Questionable. You push yourself upright with both palms. They sink straight into the muck. Now you're wet. Again. You reach a tree stump and collapse next to it. Bark rough against your side. You yank your boot off and dump out a litre of mud. It doesn't help. You look down. Your socks, once white, now brown and red and shredded, have fused with your feet. Blisters the size of quarters bubble at your heels. One has popped. It sticks to the fabric like someone glued raw meat to canvas. You squeeze your eyes shut. Try not to think about it. You don't have extra socks. Those burned on the boat. You don't have bandages. The medic who had them is bleeding out somewhere behind you. You have shoelaces, duct tape and rage. It'll have to do. You wrap your foot with the cleanest rag you can find. It smells like oil and despair. You tie your boot back on, wincing. This is the price of movement. And you still have 3 more hills to go. You start again. The trees here are cruel too. Their roots catch your boots. Their branches claw your face. Every time you duck under one, another smacks you from the other side. Nature doesn't care who's shooting at you. It's on nobody's side. Except maybe gravity's. You pass a fallen log and nearly trip over what's left of another soldier. One leg, torn jacket, no head. You step around him, carefully, respectfully. Not because you're afraid, because you can't afford to lose balance again. You keep climbing. The rain starts 5 minutes later. Of course it does. Not hard rain, worse. That fine, sticky, chilling mist that soaks through your collar and gloves and turns dirt into soup. Your rifle jams again. You strip it down without looking. Your fingers move automatically now. This is the 5th time today. You've become a gunsmith through sheer necessity. You crest the hill and look out. Trees, mud, more hills. Your stomach growls. You reach into your pouch. There's a cracker. You eat half, save the other half for the hallucination you'll probably have tonight. Your body is giving up. Slowly. Strategically. First, the toes cold, numb, useless. Then the calves knots of pain that tighten with every incline. Then the lower back a dull throb that's been humming since yesterday. And worst of all, your mind. It starts to drift. Not in the dreamy, nostalgic way. In the why am I still walking way. You start talking to yourself. Low, muttered. Meaningless. Left, right, left again. Don't fall. Not now. You step wrong. Twist your knee. Yell. Bite your tongue. Keep going. The blood in your boot is warm. That's a blessing. Warm means circulation. For now. At the next clearing, someone set up a rest post, if you can call it that. Just 3 logs and a crate of ammo someone forgot to bring forward. You sit. Not because it's safe. Because if you don't, you won't get up again. A soldier nearby, name unknown, pulls off his boot and peels away his sock. The skin underneath is white, wrinkled, tearing. Trench foot. Classic. You glance at yours, heading the same way. No one complains. Complaining takes energy. Energy requires calories. Calories require rations. And those disappeared sometime around sunrise. You all just sit, breathing, rotting, waiting for the next command. The terrain has won, for now. You rest your head against the log. And in that moment, you realise something horrible. You miss the bullets. Because at least bullets are quick. This is slow death. 1 blister, 1 slip, 1 sprain at a time. The enemy isn't just in the bunkers or the tree lines. It's beneath you, around you, inside your boots, in your joints, in the sound of your bones grinding as you crawl toward a hill that hates you. You open your eyes. Still raining. Still climbing. Still dying, just very, very slowly. 10. Fear, fatigue, and failing gear. You don't remember when you stopped walking and started stumbling. It just happened somewhere between Hill 3 and the place where time stopped existing. Your legs still move, technically, but they're not yours anymore. They belong to the terrain. The earth lifts them, drags them, drops them. You're just a passenger now, bouncing inside your own skeleton. Your rifle feels like it weighs 40 kilos. It pulls at your shoulder like a lead pipe soaked in regret. You think about throwing it away, but what would that do? Make you lighter? Maybe. Make you survive? Doubtful. So you keep it. Like everything else in this cursed uniform. Your boots have fused to your feet. You don't know if it's from mud or blood or both. You can't feel your toes anymore, which is helpful, because the ones you can feel are screaming. Your belt's twisted, your helmet's cracked. Your water is gone. Your hands shake when you try to reload, and you're afraid of everything. But not in the screaming, panicking kind of way. No, your fear is quiet now. Internal. Slow burning. Deep. The kind of fear that creeps behind your eyes and whispers, "You're not going to make it." You know that, right? And the worst part? You believe it. The sergeant barks something ahead. You don't process it. You nod anyway. That's your role now. Nod, move, survive another 10 steps. You pass a fallen tree, duck under a branch. Your pack catches. You curse. Tug it free. It tears. Of course it tears. The right shoulder strap snaps clean off. Now your pack swings sideways like a pendulum of despair. You fix it with a strip of torn canvas. Not because it'll hold, it won't, but because doing something feels better than doing nothing. You press on. The next hill is worse. Not higher, just meaner. Every rock is loose. Every footstep a gamble. You fall 3 times before reaching the halfway point. Your left knee buckles. Again. Your palms are raw. You bit your tongue on the last fall. Your mouth tastes like rust and broken teeth. You're not even climbing anymore, just crawling upward through dirt and fog and internal screaming. At the top, you collapse beside Harris. He looks as bad as you feel. Eyes red, nose bleeding, one lens in his glasses is cracked. He's breathing like a dog dying in summer heat. He hands you a match. You don't ask why. You light it, just to see something burn. It flares for 3 seconds, then dies. Like everything else here. You sit together in silence, staring at nothing. Then a click. Your rifle, just sitting there, jammed. Again. You've cleared it 6 times today, maybe 7. Every time a new surprise. Sand, bent casing, unfired round. This time it's the bolt. Won't move. Locked solid. You try to force it. No use. You tap it, shake it, slam it against a tree trunk. Nothing. You scream, not loud, not angry, just exhausted. And then you laugh. Because that's what finally breaks you. Not the bullets. Not the blood. Not the marching or the falling or the starving. No. It's your own goddamn rifle saying, nope, not today. You sit there with a useless weapon, broken boots, torn skin, and the cold realization that even your gear wants out. Welcome to the next stage of war. Mechanical betrayal. Your boots? One lace snapped an hour ago, the soles separating from the leather. Water sloshes inside like a cursed aquarium. Your canteen, empty and dented, and smells like gun oil. Your gloves, lost one yesterday. Now you switch hands when they freeze. Your belt is held together with wire. Your pants are stiff with mud and dried blood. Your jacket zipper broke during a firefight. You use safety pins, now 4 left. You feel like a stitched-together mannequin someone left out in the rain. And that's just the gear you can see. Your helmet padding is gone, so it wobbles. Every time you run, it hits your eyebrows. You've got a bruise above your left eye that looks like a second eyelid. You've tried adjusting it 10 times. You gave up around time 6. Your backpack frame cracked on day 2. You rigged it with duct tape and a bent tent stake. Every step you take now sounds like a toolbox falling downstairs. And yet you keep moving. Why? Because fatigue isn't a wall. It's a swamp. You don't hit it. You sink into it. At first you think you're just tired. Then you realise your thoughts are slowing down. You forget why you stood up. You forget who said what. You forget if it's Tuesday or Thursday or if that matters. You hallucinate a horse once standing in the trees, just watching you. You blink. It's gone. You say nothing. Because if you tell Harris about the horse, he'll think you're losing it. Which you are. But you still want to pretend you're not. The fatigue becomes physical, then emotional, then existential. You start negotiating with yourself. Just make it to that tree. Okay, now the rock. Okay, now just don't throw up. Okay, just breathe. Eventually, even that gets hard. You reach another ridgeline, half slide down the backside. Your knees are shot, ankle swollen, left wrist sprained from a bad fall 2 days ago. You find cover behind a collapsed wall, and for a brief second you feel like crying. Not from fear, not from pain, from everything. Because this isn't heroism, this isn't courage, this is endurance without a finish line. You sit down, check your rifle, still jammed, check your boots, still leaking, check your heartbeat, still happening. You lean back against the stone and close your eyes. You're not asleep. You're just pausing. If someone told you the war ended right now, that peace had arrived, you wouldn't move. You'd nod, whisper good, then stay exactly where you are. Because victory, like everything else, feels too heavy to carry. 11. The medics can't save everyone, especially you. Getting shot is not what you think it is. It's not cinematic. It's not heroic. It doesn't come with slow motion or swelling music or a one-liner. It's a pop. A jolt. A sharp, sudden, almost disappointing interruption. You're pushing through a hedgerow. You've done it 100 times. Brush, crouch, look both ways, move, then snap, crack. It's just a sound, but this one's aimed at you. Something hits your side. Hard. You stumble, lose your grip on the rifle, drop to one knee, confused. You reach down. Your fingers come back red. And that's how you know. You don't scream, not yet. You just stare at your hand like it betrayed you. Like it should have lied. You press into your ribs. Yep. Warm, sticky, sharp pain under pressure. Breathing's already harder. You're bleeding internally, or externally, or both. Doesn't matter. You're hit. Then the fear kicks in. Not the I'm gonna die kind. The what happens next kind. Because now you're on a timer. And the medics? They have more timers than hands. You drop to your back behind a bush and try to stay conscious. It hurts. A lot. But not how you thought it would. It's not fire or acid or agony. It's dull, wet, pressure. Like someone pressing a hot iron into your side and refusing to let go. You breathe in. Bad idea. Sharp stab. Like glass in your lung. You breathe out. Worse. You lie still. And wait. Eventually footsteps. A shadow. Closer. Kneeling. Where are you hit? You don't answer right away. Just point. Words are hard now. He presses on your side. You scream. He doesn't flinch. Through and through. No exit wound. Shit. He doesn't sound panicked. He sounds busy. That's comforting. Kind of. He pulls out bandages. Gauze. Morphine. You hear the word morphine and latch on like it's the name of a saviour. But he hesitates. You allergic? You try to shake your head. Not because you know, just because you don't care. He injects it. It burns, then cools, then warmth, dizziness. You close your eyes. Everything is soft now, heavy. You stay awake, yeah? Don't sleep, don't be a cliché. You want to laugh, can't. He wraps your side tight, too tight, then tighter. You groan. Means it's working, he says. Then distant shouting, explosions. Machine gun bursts. The medic ducks, swears. I'll be back, he says. And then he's gone. You lie there, alone, bandaged, morphined. And suddenly very aware that back isn't guaranteed. You wait. 10 minutes, maybe 20. You lose count. Your brain feels like a sponge, soaked and stupid. Another explosion, closer this time. You crawl. Not fast, not proud, just survival mode. Every metre is a victory. Every inch is a reason to quit. You drag your leg behind you like dead weight. Your side screams. You scream back. You spot a tarp in the distance. Red cross. Half covered in dirt and despair. You aim for it. That's your finish line now. You reach it just as another shell lands nearby. You hit the ground, again, face first. You taste mud, or blood, maybe both. You're pulled in. Strong hands shouting, flashlight in your eyes, Marie. Still breathing. Good enough. They lay you on a stretcher. Not gently. You look around. It's not a hospital. It's a tarp on sticks. A folding table, a bag of tools that haven't been washed in days. Men groaning. Some missing limbs, one missing his jaw. No privacy, no dignity, no end. This isn't triage, this is damage control. A medic cuts open your shirt, winces. Ribs gone, might be lung, might not, let's find out. He doesn't mean that last part as a joke, but it's the funniest thing you've heard all day. He inserts a tube, no warning. You howl. Your body bucks. He pins you down with one arm. Air rushes out of your chest like a punctured tyre. Collapsed lung, he says, like he's commenting on the weather. You ask something, you think it's am I gonna die? But your mouth barely moves. It comes out like a cough. He shrugs. I've seen worse. Not many, but some. Not comforting. Someone else screams nearby. Not you. Then goes silent. A medic shouts, "Make room!" They shift a body, not to save it, to remove it. You close your eyes and realise something terrifying. You're not the worst case here. Not even close. There's a guy 3 cots down with a gut wound. He's whispering a name over and over. They ignore him. He stops. There's another with burns on half his face. He's blinking, that's it. They check his pulse, shake their head. Gone. And you? You're stable. Stable. You're actively bleeding, barely breathing, semi-conscious, and you're not the priority. That's what war medicine is. Not a miracle, not comfort, not even justice. It's triage math. Who can walk? Who can be saved? Who can't? There are 3 categories. You don't want to know which one you're in. You lie there for hours, or maybe minutes. Time has no meaning anymore. You fade in, fade out. At one point, a chaplain kneels beside you. He starts praying. You stop him. Not dead yet. He nods, moves on. Later, someone covers you with a blanket, not for warmth to stop the flies. You try to sit up, can't. You try to speak, can't. You try to remember why you're here. That part comes back quickly. You got hit. Not because you made a mistake, not because you hesitated. You were just there. Wrong place, wrong second, wrong trajectory. And that's all it takes. That's the brutal truth no one writes into the history books. Most soldiers don't die because they failed. They die because the numbers finally caught up. You might survive. Maybe. But even if you do, you'll leave something here. A rib, a lung, a memory. Something important. Something you can't grow back. You close your eyes again, and for a brief moment, you imagine peace. Not a parade, not a medal, not a return home. Just silence. A breath that doesn't hurt. A moment without chaos. But the war doesn't care what you want. And the medics, they'll save who they can. And today, that might not be you. 12. War is boring until it isn't. You expect war to be chaos. You expect explosions, shouting, blood, motion. But sometimes it just stops. And when it stops, it doesn't feel like peace. It feels like suffocation. You're crouched in a ruined farmhouse somewhere near the French countryside. What's left of the ceiling hangs low, sagging like wet cardboard. Flies buzz around a corner where something used to be human. No one moves. You've been here for 4 hours, doing nothing, waiting. No orders, no enemies, no reason. Just static. Outside it's drizzling, the kind of rain that makes everything colder without cleaning anything. The walls are damp, the floor is damp, your socks are damp. Your soul probably too. Someone eats a ration bar, slowly, mechanically. The chewing is louder than the wind. Harris is lying on his back, staring at the rafters. He's counting holes. You're carving lines into your boot sole with a knife. Not for a purpose, just to feel something. The lieutenant said to hold this position. So that's what you do. You hold. And nothing happens. Not for 5 minutes. Not for an hour. Not for 4. Eventually boredom becomes pain. Your legs cramp, your lower back locks, your thoughts spiral. You think about food, not rations. Real food. Hot coffee, eggs, toast with butter, a fork, a clean plate, a chair that doesn't wobble. You think about your bed back home. You try to remember the exact shape of your pillow. You can't. That bothers you more than you'd like to admit. You think about your first kiss, about your last hug, about your own name, and how weird it would sound if someone said it out loud right now. You try to remember a joke. You can't finish it. You only remember the setup. That's war, too. Not just bullets and trauma, but time. Endless, heavy, pointless time. A kind of internal erosion where the brain starts to grind down on itself because it doesn't know what else to do. Your rifle lies across your lap. You check it every 15 minutes even though you haven't fired a round all day. The bolt is clean, the safety's on, the magazine is full. And still you check, because at least it gives your hand something to do. Somewhere outside a bird chirps. You flinch. because when nothing happens for too long, anything becomes a threat. You start hearing things, not hallucinations, anticipations. A creak in the beam becomes a boot on the floor. A cough becomes a mortar round. A breeze becomes a whisper in German. The mind fills the silence with possibilities, all of them fatal. Harris mutters, "It's too quiet." You nod. Too quiet is never good. Too quiet means something's coming, but you don't know when, so you wait. You stretch your fingers, shake your arms, flex your toes in your boot. You stand, sit, stand again. You whisper, "I hate this." Harris replies, "I miss being shot at." He's not joking. Because the thing about war is, it's not always horror. Sometimes it's waiting for the horror. And the waiting is worse. Because bullets, they come fast. Waiting comes slow. It eats you from the inside. You sit back down and check your watch. It's not working. You don't know if it's broken or just empty. You wind it anyway, out of ritual, not hope. The lieutenant comes in, says nothing, looks around, leaves. You're probably bored too. You think about deserting. Not seriously, just theoretically. You imagine walking into the woods, disappearing, finding a river, washing your hands, lying down. Where would you go? There's no away anymore, only further in. So you stay. Eventually someone lights a cigarette, the match flares, it's beautiful. Then it's gone. Back to darkness, rain, rot. You lean your head back, close your eyes, drift. You dream not of safety, not of home, but of motion. You dream of running, not from danger, just running. Somewhere with grass, clean air, no helmet. But then something cracks. Not loud, just enough. Your eyes snap open. Everyone freezes. Another crack. Closer. You raise your rifle. Safety's off. Your pulse spikes. A shadow moves near the window. Is it a tree? A man? A trick? No one breathes. The silence breaks again, a footstep, definite this time. The lieutenant whispers, "Hold." Too late. The door blows inward. Grenade, glass, screaming, light. Everything you were afraid of all at once. The room erupts. You fire blindly. Harris shouts. The window explodes. Someone gets hit, maybe the enemy, maybe not. You fall to the ground, something lands on you, warm, heavy. You shove it off, it's someone's leg. You crawl to the corner, firing as you move. Outside Germans, 2, maybe 3. One drops, another runs. Inside chaos, smoke, muzzle flashes, shouts in every direction. The lieutenant is down, screaming. You see his hand clutching his neck, red fountains through his fingers. You reload, fumble, fire again. Then it stops, just ends, like it started. The room is quiet again, except now 5 of you are gone. You sit, blood on your helmet, not yours. Your hands shake, your chest heaves. You wipe your face, dirt, sweat, soot. Harris sits across from you, no words. The bodies are still warm, and now you remember. This is how war works. It lulls you into forgetting, into numbing. Then it hits, all at once, with teeth. You almost prefer it that way, because the silence, the waiting, that's the part that kills you slow. You take a deep breath, cough, stand up, and wait for the next nothing, because it's coming, and you'll have to sit through that too. 13. Night falls, and it's worse than the day. Daylight fades like it's retreating in shame. There's no sunset, no golden glow, just grey turning to darker grey, then black, like someone closed the curtain on the world without warning. You blink, and it's night. The sounds don't stop, but they change. Gunfire becomes sporadic. Footsteps get quieter. Voices turn into whispers. The war doesn't sleep. It just gets harder to see. And when you can't see, fear becomes your eyes. You're in a crater, shoulder to shoulder with two guys whose names you never caught. One might be Harris, the other might be dead. You're not sure he hasn't moved in over an hour. There's no moon, no stars, just darkness so thick it presses on your skin. You grip your rifle tighter, not because you expect to shoot, but because it's the only thing that feels solid anymore. Your mind drifts back to training, to the part where they told you that nighttime patrols were high risk, high tension. They didn't mention the hallucinations. They didn't mention how trees become people, how shadows breathe, how silence becomes a scream inside your skull. A twig snaps nearby. Your heart leaps, your finger tightens on the trigger, but you hold. Because out here, a mistake doesn't cost points, it costs blood. You whisper, "Password." No reply. Then a low voice, "Thunder." You exhale, whisper back, "Flash." It's one of yours. Probably. That's the sick part you never really know. Because uniforms blur in the dark, accents get twisted, and if you shoot first, no one blames you. Unless you hit a friend, then it's avoidable tragedy. And even that gets buried by morning. The soldier passes by without a word, just a nod, a silhouette, a ghost with boots. You listen until his steps fade into the soil. You lie back, close your eyes, open them again, no difference. Everything's black, and the cold creeps in. Not sharp cold that you can fight. This is deeper, damp, slow. The kind that sinks into your ribs and settles behind your spine. You shiver, not from the temperature, but from the memory of warmth. You can't remember what it feels like. Your breath fogs the air, barely visible, but you still try to hide it, because someone somewhere might be watching. Snipers love the dark. They wait for the silhouette of a head, for that one careless movement, that cigarette glow, that outline against a lighter sky, and then nothing. Just a thud, a drop, silence. Snipers don't announce themselves. They subtract. You try not to think about that. Instead, you count your breaths. In, out, 20, 30, 50. A dog barks in the distance. A real one? A memory? You don't care. It makes you feel like there's still something alive out there besides misery. You glance at the man beside you, still not moving. You nudge him. He grunts. Alive. You nod to yourself like that's a victory. Time stretches. A flare goes up, far away red, then green. You watch the colours dance across the clouds. For a second the world is illuminated. You see the trees, the hill, the trench, the bodies. Then darkness again. Back to blindness. Your eyes ache from trying. You close them again, drift, almost sleep. But sleep is dangerous. Sleep is tempting, warm, final. And out here, you don't fall asleep. You slip into it, and maybe don't come back. A voice crackles on the radio, garbled, panicked. You catch pieces. Movement, west side, unknown, hold position. You look at Harris. Yes, it's him this time. He's already loading a fresh mag. You follow. Crawl through the muck. Every branch snaps louder in your head than it should. Every breath feels like betrayal. You reach a trench, slide in, wait. Nothing. No sound. No shots. Just the kind of silence that's too quiet. You wait 10 minutes, then 20. Then your mind starts playing games. You imagine footsteps. You imagine a knife behind you. You imagine the man beside you switching sides. You imagine waking up dead. Someone fires a shot down the line. You duck. Return fire. No. Too risky. Another shot. A shout. Then silence again. False alarm? Real contact? Nobody confirms. That's night warfare. A rumour of danger followed by real corpses. Eventually you fall back to the crater. Same spot, same two guys. Still dark, still cold, still endless. You chew the edge of a ration bar. It tastes like cardboard soaked in salt. You hear someone whisper a prayer. You don't join in. Not because you're proud, just tired. God's been busy. You lie flat, helmet tilted forward, fingers curled around your weapon like it's a comfort blanket. You don't plan on sleeping. You just plan on not dying. Which tonight is all anyone can ask for. 14. 14. No glory, no comfort, no escape. You wake up in mud. Not in a bed, not in a tent, not in a foxhole carefully carved for protection. Just mud. It seeps through your uniform, clings to your back, fills the wrinkles behind your knees and elbows like cold, wet cement. Your face is half buried in it. You don't know how long you were unconscious. Could have been 20 minutes. Could have been 4 hours. It doesn't matter. The war didn't end while you slept. You sit up slowly. Your back cracks. Your joints groan. Your muscles spasm like they're trying to disobey. Everything hurts, but nothing surprises you anymore. You blink hard. Your eyelashes are stuck together, grime, sleep, dried blood, probably all three. You rub your eyes with the back of your glove. Doesn't help. It's morning. You can tell only because the sky is less black and more grey. The fog hasn't lifted, neither has your mind. Harris is nearby, sitting cross-legged like a statue, chewing something. You don't ask what. You don't care. You spit into the mud. A thick blob of mucus, sand, and God knows what else. It lands with a slap, becomes part of the landscape. There's no breakfast, no warmth, no coffee. Just a new day filled with old pain. You try to stand. Your knees say no. You try again. Your knees say fine, but they'll punish you later. You stretch your back. Bad idea. Sharp stab under your left shoulder blade. Probably from sleeping on a rock. Or maybe from getting shot at yesterday. Hard to tell anymore. You hobble to a nearby tree and unzip. You relieve yourself with one hand on the trunk, the other on your rifle. Yes, even now. Even during this. Because bullets don't wait for you to finish peeing. You shake, zip, stagger back. You sit. And then it hits you. You stink. Not just bad hygiene stink. Not sweaty gym clothes stink. Rot. Your body smells like old meat. Your clothes smell like wet rope and mildew and dried fear. You don't notice anymore until you do. And when you do, it turns your stomach. You sniff your armpit, regret it immediately. You scratch your scalp. Skin flakes fall like snow. You've become a creature now. More fungus than man. A walking pile of nerves and rot and resignation. There's a rusted mirror nailed to a post near the old barn. You limp over. Look in. You don't recognise the thing staring back. Your eyes are sunken, your lips cracked. You've got cuts you don't remember getting. A bruise under your eye that looks like it belongs to someone else. You haven't shaved in 2 weeks. You haven't washed in longer. You smell like you've been buried and dug back up. This is your reward for surviving. You walk back to the crater, slide in. No one speaks. There's nothing left to say. A soldier nearby tries to light a cigarette. His hands are shaking so bad he drops the match 3 times before it catches. He takes one drag, coughs, passes it on. It goes down the line. When it reaches you, you take it. It burns. You inhale anyway. The smoke fills your lungs like fog in an empty church. It's the only warmth you'll get today. You exhale. No glory, no comfort, no escape. You look at your boots, caked in filth. The leather's cracked. One sole is peeling, the laces were replaced with wire days ago. Your toes are blistered, your heels are raw. Every step is a conversation between pain and necessity. You pick at the mud between the treads, not to clean them, just to give your hands something to do. Idle hands invite memories. You remember the first day, the beach, the screams, the smell of burning fuel and skin. You remember Harris helping you up after your first fall? You remember your rifle jamming, your helmet flying off, your stomach turning at the sight of a man's intestines spilled like wet rope. You remember the shock of still being alive. You don't remember the last time you felt human. Another hour passes. Nothing happens. You shift your weight. Bones pop. You scratch behind your ear. Something crawls. Lice? Fleas? Who knows? Who cares? A corporal walks past, muttering something about digging latrines. You laugh, out loud. Latrines, you say? We are the latrine. No one laughs with you, because it's true. You shit where you sleep now. You piss into holes dug by dead men. You wipe with leaves, ration wrappers, or nothing at all. Sanity died 3 hills ago. You think about running. Not deserting, just running. As fast and far as your body allows. Into the trees, into the fog. Away. But you wouldn't get far. Your legs would give out, your breath would catch. Your foot would snag on something, a root, a corpse, a memory. And then you'd lie there. And the war would continue without you. You stare at the sky. It's light now, but it doesn't help. The clouds are thick, dirty, low. No sun, no birds, no hope. You think about your family, not with longing, just curiosity. Are they eating, sleeping, thinking of you? Do they imagine you like this? Broken? Sour? Fermented in misery? Do they picture you shivering in a hole with mud on your face and blood in your socks? Or do they still believe the poster? The one with the clean uniform and proud smile and clear blue sky. You'd laugh if you remembered how. Someone taps your shoulder. It's Harris. We're moving out, he says. You nod. Of course you are. You grab your gear. Your broken, useless, barely holding together gear. And you rise. One more time. Because even here, even now, the war doesn't care how you feel. Only that you follow. 15. You're a ghost in waiting. Somewhere along the line, you stopped being you. Not suddenly, not dramatically. There was no thunderclap, no final thought. Just erosion. Like rain slowly washing away a name carved into stone. You still move. You still breathe. You still hold your rifle, still follow orders, still eat when you remember, still duck when someone shouts incoming. But inside, there's just static. You don't feel tired anymore. You're tired. You don't feel scared. Fear would require imagination, hope, attachment. You just exist. Not as a man, not even as a soldier, but as a shape that war forgot to bury, a ghost in waiting. You walk down a path between trees. The fog curls around your boots like it's trying to pull you back. You let it. You're following someone. Could be Harris. Could be anyone. You don't ask. The ground squelches underfoot. Branches claw at your uniform. You don't react. Everything is damp, your socks, your face, your soul. You step over a body. Fresh. American. Shot clean through the throat. You don't look twice. Not out of cruelty. Out of familiarity. You've seen this scene 100 times, maybe more. Doesn't matter anymore. They bury some. They forget most. You'll be one of those, eventually. Your boots crunch on gravel. You blink. Now you're in a village, or what's left of one. A half-collapsed stone house, a well, a signpost with no signs. A chair sits in the road upright, as if someone might still return to it. They won't. The lieutenant waves you forward. You nod. You move. Your fingers tighten around your rifle, not because you expect contact, but because it's something to hold, something solid, something that hasn't abandoned you. Yet. The squad spreads out, takes position, waits. Always waiting. You sit on a doorstep. The door is gone. Just a frame now. You lean your shoulder against it and let your mind drift. You're not asleep. You're elsewhere. Your eyes are open. You're breathing. But your mind has walked off. Maybe it's in your old bedroom. Maybe it's in the clouds. Maybe it's nowhere. Your body is here. But you left a long time ago. You remember things now, in fragments. The sound of toast popping. The way your mother laughed when she burned her hand on the kettle. The first time you rode a bike without help. Your first girlfriend's name. You think it was Emily. Or maybe Emma. You don't remember her voice. You hear footsteps. You look up. It's a sergeant, not yours. He looks through you like he's seeing someone who hasn't arrived yet. You nod. He nods back. 2 ghosts, same graveyard. You check your weapon again. Not for function. Just out of ritual. The metal is cold, comforting. You rub dirt from the stock with your sleeve. Not out of pride. Just because you hate the feel of wet grime against your cheek when you aim. A crow lands on the broken roof across from you. It caws once. You stare at it for a long time. It stares back. Neither of you moves. You think, lucky bastard, you get to fly. You look away. Time passes, or maybe it doesn't. Your wristwatch broke days ago. You wear it anyway. It gives people the impression that you're still counting. You stand up, stretch, your back cracks. Your spine feels like it's wrapped in old rope. You walk to a nearby wall and sit again. It's your new favourite activity, rotating positions of discomfort. You close your eyes. You dream, not of love, not of escape. You dream of stillness, a bed with no bugs, a room with no shouting, a roof that doesn't leak, a pillow that smells like nothing at all. You don't dream of peace. You dream of nothing. Because nothing sounds better than everything. You wake. It's dark now. Rain again. Someone's humming. You listen. You don't recognize the song. Or maybe you do. You used to know music. Used to hum along, tap your fingers, sing badly in the shower. Now, when you try to sing, your voice cracks like old wood. You hear a whistle in the distance. 3 short bursts. You rise automatically. No one told you what it means, but your legs respond anyway. You're not thinking anymore. You're triggering. Like a muscle memory with dog tags. You move. Toward the road, past the well, through the rubble. You step over a cat. Dead. Eyes open. Wet fur. Small body curled like it never realized the end had come. You don't stop. You enter a basement with 2 others. Candles, a crate of ammo, sandbags at the windows. You take a corner. Sit. Breathe. Wait. The ghost routine continues, and then something new. A cough. From you. Dry. Painful. Deep. You feel your ribs rattle. You spit into a rag. Red. Bright, pulpy red. You stare at it. Blink. Fold the rag. Put it back in your pocket. Say nothing. Because who would care? There's no medic here. No time. No strength to make it back. So you sit, and you wait, and you know you're already gone. You just haven't stopped moving yet. You hear a shout outside. You lean forward, pick up your rifle, hold it close, and whisper, "I'm ready," even if you're not. 16. If you survive, you're still broken. At the beginning, you remembered every name. You clung to them like anchors, like they meant something. First name, last name, hometown, favourite song. The guy who could juggle 3 apples. The one who used to talk in his sleep. The kid who cried before the landing and didn't try to hide it. They had stories, faces. You joked with them, ate with them, slept beside them. Then the shooting started. And one by one the stories stopped. First it was Peterson. Machine gun, neck, fast. You remembered his name for days. Then Ramirez, shell burst, gone before he hit the ground. You kept his dog tags in your pocket for a while. Then Smith or Schmidt, you weren't sure. You remembered his laugh, but not what he looked like. Then too many at once. Then too fast. And eventually, the names started slipping. Like trying to hold water in your hands. You still remember Harris, but that's because he's still here. For now. You don't look for people anymore. If they're gone, they're gone. If they show up again, you nod. No questions, no celebration. If they don't, you don't ask. Because there's only so much space in your brain. And it's already overcrowded with noise, mud, blood, and broken images. You sit under what used to be a tree. Charred, no leaves. One side still smoking from this morning's mortar strike. It's raining again, the kind of rain that comes sideways. Like the sky's trying to slap you for still being here. You pull your jacket tighter, doesn't help. You're soaked inside and out. Across from you, Harris is sharpening a stick. Not for anything specific, just to do something. The soldier next to him is new. You haven't asked his name. You won't. Not out of cruelty. Out of defence. Because if he's dead by tomorrow, it'll hurt less. Names are weights. Faces are traps. And memory is expensive. And you can't afford it anymore. You remember a guy from the first week. Tall, southern accent. Always talked about horses. You can't remember if he made it. You think you saw him fall in the orchard. Or maybe that was someone else. You don't know. And no one wrote it down. You eat from your tin, something brown, unidentified, cold. You don't care. Taste left months ago. You chew slowly, mechanically, just to keep your jaw from locking. Down the line someone says a name. Lyndon. You freeze. You know that name. Or you did. Lyndon. Short guy. Glasses. Laughed like a goose. Always tried to fix broken radios. You thought he was dead. You look over. It's not him. Just someone saying his name. He didn't make it past the ridge, they say. Someone else nods. Figures. And that's it. That's Lyndon's eulogy. 2 lines, no tears. No one even stops eating. You used to think you'd cry when your friends died. You don't. Not because you don't care, but because you can't. Tears require energy, emotion, fluid. You're dry inside now. Like the war wrung you out and hung you on a line to rot. Another name gets said. This one you don't know. Or maybe you did. Last week, last month, before the beach. You shake your head, try to clear the fog. It doesn't work. Your memory is full of half faces and first initials. A patch of hair, a certain cough, a lucky charm someone used to carry. But the names? Gone? erased like chalk on wet pavement. There's a pile of personal effects in the tent nearby. Letters, photographs, pockets emptied from the fallen. No one's reading them. No time, no order, no point. They'll be burned eventually. Maybe someone will get a letter back home. Maybe not. Maybe the envelope will say, "We regret to inform you." Maybe it won't say anything at all. You try to imagine what they'll write about you. What name they'll use. You picture a form, a stamp, a folded flag. You wonder if anyone will read it out loud. You wonder if they'll pronounce your last name right. You wonder if anyone will care. A shell lands in the distance. You don't flinch. You've learned that only close matters. The new guy next to Harris does flinch. He'll learn. Or he won't. Either way, his name will disappear too. You stand up, stretch, your joints crack like old wood. You walk to the tent, push aside the flap. Inside, mud, blood, bags. Someone's asleep in the corner, mouth open, twitching. Someone else is praying with his eyes open. You spot a photograph near the cot. 2 kids, a woman, a picnic blanket, smiles. You don't know whose it is. You look away. Because if you look too long, you'll start imagining. And imagining hurts. You head back outside, sit on a crate, watch the rain. You whisper a name to yourself. Just one. Lyndon. It's not much. Just air through teeth. But for a second, a flicker, it feels like something matters. Then the wind blows harder. And the moment passes. You close your eyes. Not to rest, but to forget. 17. Reflection. Why remembering matters. You're still here, and you don't know why. Not because you were faster, or braver, or smarter. You were just less unlucky. And somehow, that's worse. Because every time you look at your hands cracked, blistered, filthy, you see the hands of someone who didn't earn survival. You see a placeholder, a mistake, a ghost that forgot to die. And you realise something horrifying. You wouldn't last another day. Not really. You're running on instinct, habit, muscle memory. Everything human about you is already rotted away. You eat, you sleep, you fire your rifle. But inside, it's just smoke and bones. You walk past the beach again, the one you landed on. What's left of it? The same sand that tried to eat your boots is still there. But the body's gone. The tide took them, or the birds, or the bulldozers. You don't ask, because asking means caring, and caring is dangerous. You sit on a chunk of concrete, might have been part of a pillbox once. Now it's just a slab, cracked, blackened, forgotten. You take off your helmet, run a hand through your hair. You lose 3 more strands in the process. You smile faintly. You used to care about your hair. Now you're just surprised it's still attached. You look around. The sea's calm today. Flat, grey, indifferent. You wonder how many men it swallowed. How many sank before they even hit the beach. You remember one? Could have been Harris. Could have been you. You blink. You still taste salt. Not from the ocean. From the tears you never shed. Because back then, you didn't cry. You couldn't. You had no time. Now there's nothing left to cry with. You stand. Your knees creak. Your spine clicks. Your right boot squeaks from a tear in the sole. You limp toward what's left of a barracks. It's half collapsed. Smells like rust and old paper. Inside, a mattress, mouldy, thin. A metal frame. A mirror. You look into it. Mistake. The man staring back isn't you. He has your eyes, but they're buried deep in shadow, like someone turned off the light behind them. His skin is pale, raw around the lips. His neck is thinner, his posture bent. He's not scared. He's just absent. You raise your hand. He does too. You smile. He doesn't. You look away. The mirror never lies, but it never tells the whole truth either. You sit on the cot. The springs groan. You reach into your jacket, pull out your journal, thin, worn, nearly empty, only 5 pages used. You open to the first. June 6th, 1944. You wrote, made it ashore, saw Peterson die. Still shaking. Rations taste like glue. Can't believe I'm alive. That was it. That's all you wrote on D-Day. You flip through the next few pages. They're no better. Short bursts, scrawls, half-thoughts. Ramirez is gone. Gun jammed again. Saw a horse. Might have been a rock. Can't sleep. Keep hearing breathing. I think I'm the one doing it. Woke up to rats again. My toe is black. I hope that's normal. You laugh. Dry, quiet. Not because it's funny, but because it's true. This was your diary, your record, your testimony. A list of random miseries and slow decay. You never once wrote, I'm proud. You close the book, place it under your leg. You stare at the doorless frame, and you think, you wouldn't last a day here. Not you, the reader. Not the one watching from a warm room. Not the one with clean socks, a full stomach, and functioning emotions. You'd break before breakfast. You'd scream during the landing. You'd freeze the first time someone called your name and never answered back. You'd stop moving the first time the world forgot you existed. Not because you're weak, but because this place isn't made for humans. It's made to unmake them, and it nearly succeeded. In fact, maybe it did. You step outside. The sun's trying to rise. It looks embarrassed, like it knows it's not wanted here. You walk past 3 more craters, past a burned-out jeep, past a helmet half buried in sand. You pick it up. There's a name inside. You don't recognize it. You place it on a post. A small act of order in a place made of chaos. And then you keep walking. No goal, no orders, no mission. Just movement. Because movement means you're not dead yet. And if you stop completely, you'll have to decide what happens next. You pass Harris on the trail. He nods. You nod back. Neither of you speaks. You don't need to. You've seen too much, lost too much. You're beyond conversation. You're survivors. Not heroes. Not men. Just remnants. Ghosts who somehow kept breathing. You reach the ridge. Look out over the valley. Smoke in the distance. Birds circling something they shouldn't. The wind shifts. You close your eyes and whisper, I didn't win. Because you didn't. You're still alive. But you left too much of yourself behind to call this a victory. And that's why you wouldn't last a day at D-Day. Not because you're weak, but because even the strong didn't survive whole. Some came back with scars. Some came back with medals. Some came back in pieces. And some never came back at all. But all of them, they left something here. And so did you. And now, you walk away from the ridge, slowly, silently, like the ghost you've become. Some came back with medals. Some came back in pieces. And some never came back at all. But all of them, they left something here. And so did you. And now, you walk away from the ridge, slowly, silently, like the ghost you've become.